Hi guys, Charles here. I made a video the other day about they're going to have sacrifices during the millennium. Well, let's start back with Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, the animal was sacrificed to make them clothes out of skin. God made them. People use that as the first sin sacrifice. But then his sons, Cain and Abel, one was given a grain sacrifice and the other was given a meat sacrifice from his flocks. So was that a sin sacrifice? Why did they even sacrifice back then when they didn't have a temple built and all these things were put into place with Moses to begin with? So the thing is, there's many different types of sacrifices. There's the grain sacrifice, there's a peace sacrifice between neighbors, there's sacrifices just to give to God as a voluntary, and that's the way the Levites ate back in the day too. So that could be part of the millennium too. The sacrifices are for the Levites. But there is a big difference between a sin sacrifice. A sin sacrifice is our Passover, which is the Lamb, which is Christ, and that's set apart from that. So the Father, there's Jesus is getting the earth ready for the Father during the millennium. Now the Father is still in heaven during the millennium. And Jesus, I believe, he says in Ezekiel and them, he is bringing the sacrifice back, not sin, but peace and love offerings to the Father, because the Father enjoys these sacrifices. They used to burn up whole cow or bulls just as a sacrifice to him and say, here you are, thank you for making us and being our God. It's not only sin. That's why you have to get out of your head, because the church has put this in that's the sin sacrifice, but there's more to it. We need to learn the law and the Sabbath and the other things from the Jews, Israelites, and become like Jesus was. Jesus kept the Sabbath. Jesus sacrificed, I'm sure, did he? Did Jesus offer sacrifices to the Father? It doesn't say, but it's a very good possibility. And he didn't have to, because he was never sinned. So it's for the Father to enjoy, and it says that he enjoys them. The Son sits next to the Father in heaven. They don't sit in the same seat. They sit next to. So when Jesus comes back to the earth, he is going to sacrifice love offerings to his Father, which we should be doing. We should become more like Jesus. And so that's what I'm saying about the sacrifice. It says in these scriptures, look them up, Google them, Google the scriptures, and it says that there's going to be sacrifices in the millennium. You can't just throw that away and say, well, I don't even want to look at it because I know better. No, look at it. It says it. And if you can separate the two between sin and free will offerings, then you can see the difference. You can see the Father's enjoying them. And we want for the Father. We're waiting for the Father to come out of heaven to this earth. And this is the prize, the earth, for us. We will become spirit beings, and we will live with the Father and with Jesus. Jesus is getting the earth ready for the Father. So, sin offering, no. Jesus is our offering for sin. But for other offerings, let's worship and praise the Father. Jesus said, pray to the Father. He said, worship the Father. And let's do it. And that's food. This is food for thought. And just see if you can separate the two.